Have you heard about the Workplace Psychological Safety Act? It's legislation that would make it unlawful for an employer or an employee to engage in psychological abuse of a worker that creates a toxic work environment in which a reasonable person would find intolerable to perform their regular workplace duties. More specifically, here's what the bill will do. 1, it gives targeted employees legal recourse, which includes filing a restraining order against an employee who violates the act. It depends on the state. It will also allow you to bypass the internal rigged HR process by calling for an investigation by OSHA. It'll also allow you to sue the employer directly for compensation and damages. Employees also can sue criminally, and guess what else? The non-disclosure agreements are off the table. You can let the world know how fucked up the company really is, especially these big corporations that pay for silence. Nope, we pulling the Band-Aid right off. 2, it also requires employers to acknowledge and adequately address instances of psychological workplace abuse. Employers will no longer be able to sweep abuse under the rug and act like it's just not happening under their watch. They will no longer be able to avoid liability. They will be required to start third-party investigations, not in-house investigations by their own attorneys. Basically, they police themselves, and we know the results of those investigations. They have to use third parties, and the investigation has to start within 5 days of the incident or the psychological abuse, and it has to end within a 30-day period. Employers would be forced to take responsibility for the outcomes of the investigations, and discipline will include terminations, no longer pushing the victim out the door and to avoid liability. And 3, employers will no longer be able to pretend that this is an individual issue. They will be forced to go after the root cause. It will address the systematic bullying, mobbing, and the psychological abuse.